Okay, folks, and what we're going to do is we're just going to jump right into it, folks. Now, this right here is an extreme Phalaenopsis propagation that we did about like 2 months ago, where we actually cut this Phalaenopsis orchid horizontally in half. That's right. We cut the top portion and then we cut the bottom portion completely in half. Okay, so let's take a good look at the top portion that we cut. Now, of course, just as guesstimated, this one right here actually did not skip a beat in its growth. And if we take a closer look, you can actually see the phenomenal root system that has already begun to grow. And if we take a even closer look on the underside here, I want to show you all of the new root growth. You can see right here. Oh, wow. Look how magnificent the root has really taken up. Indeed, crazy root growth from every direction right here, folks. And if we take a closer look at her leaf, her foliage system, you are also noticing very healthy leaves right here. Just growing, growing, and growing. And look at this new growth of a healthy leaf right here. So indeed, she is thriving, alive, and well, and very healthy. So she is promising, and we are looking forward to hopefully next year's beautiful, beautiful bloom. Okay, so let's now take you for a closer look at the bottom portion of the root system. This was actually a good healthy root system with a little bit of the stem portion left over. And what we did is we completely cut it in half. And as you can see here, there are absolutely no foliage, no leaves at all on this root system. And we wanted to show you the Phalaenopsis' capability of actually regenerating or developing keikis at the bottom portion. Now, when we take a closer look, you will see that on this stem, we do not really see any form of development in keiki. And there is no development at all throughout this entire root system. Trust me, I have looked and looked and looked with my fingers crossed, but there is absolutely nothing at this point. Now, again, this has only been about a month, so, you know, this is still a fairly new project. And it may take some time for this to develop enough energy for it to go ahead and develop the new keiki. Now, the good news about the bottom portion of this root system is, as you can see, oh my, look at all of the roots. They are green and healthy and very, very abundant. So as you can see, it is still continuing to grow. And it's just such a healthy root system. I mean, I have full confidence that eventually this too shall shine and give us a keiki. And I'm very, very excited because I already know, folks. I already know. It's just a matter of time. Okay, folks, and what is the dealio for realio with this extreme propagation right here that we did for Rose and Mary? And if you guys remember, she was a Phalaenopsis that we decided to cut completely vertically in half. I mean straight down the middle, and it was pretty extreme. One of the most extreme propagation methods that we did. So what is going on with them today? Well, we will show you. Okay, first we have right here, this is Rose, and as you can see, wow, take a look at those roots. Oh my gosh, they are growing very well, very healthy, did not skip a beat at all. And let's take a look at her foliage. Now, as you can see, she did lose a leaf, but the two remaining leaf on here, wow, they've kept their color, and they indeed seem to be as if they definitely are not going anywhere. So yeah, I think these leaves actually will remain. And if we take a closer look into the center, now you will begin to see the actual keiki and the new growth of the foliage system in the center part. This is the actual new plant right here. So Rose is doing extremely well, and as of right now, she does have this one healthy new growth. So indeed, she is very, very successful in her growth. Okay, folks, and here we have Miss Mary right here. And take a look at her wild and crazy roots that, of course, are growing very, very phenomenal. And if we take a look at her leaves, or leaf, right here, because she is only left with but one. All of the other leaves did fall off, but here we have this one particular leaf right here, which did sustain an injury as well. But this leaf right here refuses to go anywhere also, and I presume it will remain on this plant. And if we take a closer look in the center, which now you will see the keiki as well, just thriving, growing very, very well. And this one right here actually had a bump-a-lump. Aha, there's the bump-a-lump right there. Now remember, this was one that I actually believed that it was going to develop as a keiki. But as you can see, it's been, what, about like 3 months now? And it still has not grown any in size. And you're actually seeing like a brownish color or a beige color that's coming up right there. And that is kind of indicating to me that this is about to fizzle out. I don't believe that this will actually grow into a keiki. I believe this plant right here did not have enough energy as well to sustain this keiki. Therefore, this is actually just going to be stunted and will not develop any further. At least that is my belief, but of course I'm going to keep my fingers crossed because you still never know. And with this extreme propagation method right here, we did prove exactly what we set out to do. And that is, if we propagate these Phalaenopsis in half, that they can indeed survive, thrive, and develop as new plants. So voila! And indeed, this experiment was successful. And because these actual keikis right here have developed right off of the mother plant, this means that the growth of these keikis will actually mature a lot faster than if you actually planted it from seedlings. So indeed, within next year or perhaps the year after that, we can anticipate that these new plants will come into bloom. How awesome is that, folks? And this here is our last update, our last but never least, because this was a extreme propagation done on a Vanda. But not just any Vanda, she was actually my most favorite Vanda of all, because she was my very big girl Vanda that once stood at a whopping 3, almost 4 feet tall. And as you can see now, she is about maybe 1.5 feet. Wow, what a difference, right, folks? And what we also did on this extreme propagation is we did not follow by the rules. What we did is we did one, which was an average propagation for a Vanda. Then we did a slightly different thing with the second propagation. And then we did an extreme thing with the last propagation. So let's see how they're doing now, because it was about a month ago when this all took place. Okay, so let's take a close look at the main portion of the plant, which of course the only reason why I cut her down to size is because she was just way too tall for her own good, and I just knew that eventually she would cause her own self damage, so I did need to trim her down to size, and that's what I did with her. And as you can see, she's doing very healthy. I mean, she didn't skip a beat at all, and she kept her color. And as you can see here, well, there was a portion right here that actually got bent, so it actually had to be cut off. But if you take a look here, folks, look at that new growth right there. So she's still growing rather well, and if we can move her, you will also see that within there's also new growth of leaf there as well. So as you guys can see, folks, no interruption at all in her growth process. She did not skip a beat. She is alive and well and very, very healthy. Okay, because this big girl Vanda was so doggone tall, I was able to cut off 2 good-sized portions of the stem as well, as you can see here. 1 and 2. Now with this cutting right here, we didn't actually follow by the rules at all, even though you do see 1 leaf on here. What they do recommend is when you cut off segments, you have to make sure that at least 3 to 5 leaves are still present, and also at least 2 to 3 good healthy root system. Now she did have 3 healthy roots, or perhaps even more. But again, she only had 1 leaf, so we didn't follow the rules in that regard. So let's take a look. So taking a look at the stem portion, you are seeing some nubbins here. So that is possible growth for maybe some roots, or perhaps even new growth for a keiki, and that's really what we're hoping for. But I looked throughout this plant, and there's no sign of guarantees of any actual keiki yet. But guess what? If we take a closer look right here, folks, I don't know what that is, but I am noticing a nubbin that definitely looks like it's about to give us some lovin', folks. And this can actually be a root or a keiki, so I'm not quite sure, but I will tell you that I believe this is a new growth for the simple fact that the roots of this plant actually has a different color. So let's take a look at that. So this is a root, and as you can see, there's a tip right here that's growing. And if we take a closer look, you are noticing a very bright, kind of like a lime pale green right here. And that's the color of a new growth of root. So let's go back and let's see what color this is again. And as you can see, it's a darker green, more similar to the green that's on the foliage system right here. So definitely, I believe this will be a keiki, but we indeed have to stay tuned for more. Okay, and with this propagation right here, this stem portion, as you can see, has no leaves at all, no foliage. So indeed, we were a rebel in this propagation because we totally broke the rules on this one. Now, as you can see, she does have roots here, so we at least did that, right? Well, folks, when I looked at this, I did notice that there is absolutely no growth at all on this one. So this one brings me to be a little bit alarmed, a little bit concerned, and I really have to keep a close eye on this. I was hoping that I didn't have any duds, but I don't know. This actually could be a dud, and maybe it's because we were being a little bit too extreme and over the top. But you know what? If we don't, we'll never know, right? So at least we tried. But I do want to show you guys something on this very extreme propagation right here. Let's take a closer look. Okay, folks, because I was very much alarmed and worried about this plant right here, I could not resist but to really pick and prod at this plant or this stem because I wanted to make sure that it was still alive. And it's been about a month when I did this propagation, and here's the good news, that indeed within this layer of coating right here, you can see underneath it is still green. So that means this stem portion is still alive. So that gives me great hope that it's just a matter of time as well, and I will have to be patient. I am noticing some nubbins on this stem, so you know what, indeed, we still have a good chance. It's just a matter of being patient. So indeed, we'll closely monitor this one. And as far as I'm concerned right now, this has also been a successful propagation. We'll just have to stay tuned and see exactly how successful it will be. Okay, folks, so now I have shown you 3 different, very extreme Propagations. And I know at first a lot of you guys thought I was absolutely off my rockers, but I hope you guys have learned, if not anything else, that indeed there are times that you have to be bold and courageous, go against the grain, and not always do what everyone else is doing. I mean, of course, sometimes you have to walk to your own beat, do your own thing, and find out what works for you. Because if you're not bold enough, if you're not courageous enough, how will you ever find out what you are truly capable of, as in these cases right here? So indeed, even though I took one for the team and I was risking a big loss of losing all of these orchids, if I hadn't chanced it, I wouldn't have found out that indeed there are many different incredible ways of growing and propagating these orchids. So indeed, there was a great benefit and a great lesson to all of these orchid extreme propagations, which brings me to a phenomenal quest for you today. I, Maria Young, would like to challenge each and every one of you to be bold and courageous and do one of these Maria Young Extreme Propagation Challenge. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I want to see exactly how bold you guys are. I want to see if you guys are willing to step outside of the box and do your own thing. And of course, I would like to also learn some more, because I believe with each and every different propagation, yours, mine, and everyone else's, we are going to learn so much, because I believe with each propagation, we're going to get a different result. So indeed, this is also a great learning experience for everyone. So again, today I would like to challenge you, yes, if you are watching this video, that means yoo-hoo, to the Maria Young Extreme Propagation Challenge. So what are you gonna do about it? And folks, if you decide to be bold, if you decide to be courageous enough to do the Maria Young Extreme Propagation Challenge, what I would love for you to do is, of course, make a video of it and show us your journey and let us know exactly what you have learned and what we can learn from your experience as well. Folks, I hope you decide to live on the edge today. I hope you decide to live outside of that box of normality and again, do your own thing. Okay, folks, so you have been challenged. Why? Because my vote's on you. I totally and completely believe that you can do it too. So although I am challenging each and every one of you guys, if you guys are bold enough, courageous enough, and are willing to live outside of that box and do your own thing, I want you guys to definitely make a video. Definitely post it, share it, let me see it. And I want you guys to also encourage other people to be bold and courageous as well. And I would love to see you guys challenge your friends as well. Please be sure to indicate who you are going to challenge as well on your video. Indeed, this is an extreme propagation challenge, so you need to also challenge someone else to be bold and courageous as well. And I would recommend at least 3 people to challenge. Come on, folks. Let's see how many people we can get involved in being bold, courageous, and living out their fullest and greatest potential. And with that being said, folks, this has been Maria Young with yet another wild and crazy orchid adventure just for you guys, because I love you guys all. And of course, if you guys want to connect with me on Facebook, please make sure you do that as well. I am at My Orchid Adventures on Facebook, so definitely connect with me there as well. And if you guys want to send me a letter, a card, whatever, you guys can also connect with me through the snail mail. And here is my my P.O. box right here. Again, I thank you guys so much for connecting with me here on YouTube, and definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys' friendship. Love you guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.